I'm very happy to host you today, being a holiday. So, happy Independence Day to you and to your audience.
Absolutely. Hi, Ranjani. Thank you and happy independence to all of us who is not a current audience, but maybe will come up as an audience in future. And yes, it's a holiday, but it's a good day.
Yes, absolutely. So I always keep sharing to my community, like, no, I'm a voice of freedom. So this is a kind of freedom we are privileged to have, and we are celebrating this. And the kind of work we are doing as coaches is all about celebrating ourselves, the freedom of having this voice to share our stories. And today it's your turn. So I,
Absolutely. So
yeah.
grateful.
So for to all the audience who is watching this for the first time, I'm Ranjini Sanjay, and I met Shruti in a common community. Our mentors are common. So I'm a very much networking freak person. So I keep connecting with new people, and that's how Shruti got in touch with me, and we are together now. And this is our first interaction, a detailed one. But before we run into the topic today, I want you to introduce yourself in your own words so that people can know you better.
Absolutely. So I'm Shruti Mundhra. Right now, I'm a purpose clarity coach. But to come to this place has been a journey in itself, from being a homemaker to trying out different things and then reaching here, where I now understand that how important purpose and clarity in your life makes a difference to what you really want to do. And we always say na कि सुबह उठते हैं तो you want to wake up with excitement. So this gives me excitement. This gives me that yes, every day is so fulfilling and so successful in life. So yeah, I'm a purpose clarity coach and I look forward to this journey with you, Ranjani, as well.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think as people are listening and maybe watching this live or over a replay, there are many people who have been through the time, especially women, because we have different agendas at different time periods of our lives. And I think one chapter that you're here to share as a coach is when you kind of connect with clarity and the purpose here. And these are two big terms. They sound so simple, but it is not as easy as we say. Right.
Definitely, it's not. Yeah.
So I personally, have my own. I remember starting my journey as a coach professionally 5 years back. But in between, as I was going through, I had the opportunity to work with a purpose coach who could give me a complete clarity, like why, how I should look at the perspective of really taking my action aligned with the values that eventually I could reach my or fulfill on the purpose that I'm here for. So as
Absolutely.
we run into today's conversation, like it is not limited to CEOs, that no, anybody, everybody should follow this, the work that you're doing, and something you have done it for yourself. I have done it for myself, and we are here to share this and invite people to take this perspective. So my first question to you is why you want to work with women across different life stages.
So, being a woman, of course, and being from an Indian background, and I understand that, how women work or what their mindset is from the childhood. Definitely, the nurturing is like that, where we put ourselves
Mm.
last. And I have also done it, being a homemaker, like I said, to being a mother, to being a going through financial crisis at a point of time, not clear about what I really want to do or what will make me feel fulfilled and happy at the end of the day. So women who put themselves last, that is the biggest challenge for a
Mm.
woman. And sometimes, even if you're successful, so not only like homemakers who will put themselves at last, but someone who's into a doctor or a lawyer, they also tend to put themselves
Mm.
at last. Even if they're successful, they will go to that level where, okay, everything I'm doing, I am successful, I have money, but I will put myself last, and no setting of
Mm.
boundaries happens. I will not do what I want to do, but I will do everything to fulfill others. So that is the biggest challenge that I have seen in women with friends and family around. And I felt that, being a self sufficient person is so very important. And that's what I am right now. And that's what I think every woman can be. And for that matter, every human being can be. So that's why I like to work with women.
Interesting. So, can you tell me a little bit more about your own personal story? Like, what was that turning point for you where you turned like, now it's time that I, align and, refocus myself?
Yeah. So turning point came probably 18 years back when my younger daughter was
Hmm.
born. But it took me 18 years to actually reach where I wanted to reach. And that's when I realized that, you need someone. That is why these coaches, mentoring, counseling, all has become so important in
Hmm.
these days. Investing in yourself, not just with time. I invested with time initially, then invested my money, but I reached where I wanted to. It took a lot of time. Now what I do is basically help you to shorten that
Hmm.
time period. You invest in yourself, you invest your time, money, energy, emotions, but you shorten it, so that, because I have created a formula for myself, I have done it with all the trials and errors, so nobody needs to go through that. And that is where getting into your journey and moving forward is important. Now, when my daughter was born, I just didn't want her to see me as a homemaker or a mother who is just putting herself in the space where she doesn't, has no
Hmm.
identity. The only identity probably that time was that I'm a mother and I'm a housewife and I'm a daughter in law and I'm a wife or a daughter. But now, today, I feel I have my own identity. I feel when they have seen me growing my identity to being so personal space where I can say, yes, this is me, they will also learn that. And since they were daughters, and I never, never want my daughters to go through that long journey and
Hmm.
process, that's what made me what I am today.
Very much I can relate to this. I think I also have this, a similar point. Like, it is not about, really being successful in front of the world. It is more about who you are in front of your kids. It all starts there, and how do they receive you? And that is the
Yes.
most important, I think. I think if I have influenced my kids, I've done my job. you know
Absolutely. I agree. More than that, just influencing kids, yes, we've given them birth. We have to take that into stride. But I think feeling and knowing that you are a success. See, most people look at success as material objects. Yes, that is important. I will never say I don't know, I'm not a materialistic person. I definitely am. But feeling that success in your body and soul on a daily basis is what makes you move forward and grow forward. That's how I relate to it.
Yes. So, as we are talking today, like, it is not limited to, the CEOs. I always tell, the moms, and like, you are already a CEO at home, as a
Yes.
somebody who's leading on the home front. So, though this conversation is not the CEO what the world knows, how women, like,
Uh-huh.
can really, even if they are not in the leadership positions, how they can look at this concept of aligning themselves to purpose. Like, what would be your steps, or how can they get started, like the way you got started? Can you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely wonderful question, Ranjani. And I think it's not about being a CEO at work and office, it's about being self aware. You have to be aware why you are doing the intention. It's okay to be a homemaker, that's not a challenge. But what is your intention? Are you really wanting to be an homemaker? Go ahead, do your job with that right intention. Understand why you just want to be an
Mm.
homemaker. It's okay. Like, people look down at homemakers. I think I look up to homemakers because they have so many challenges on a daily basis and a thankless job that they're doing, which they are not being even paid for. So I think understanding your self awareness and clarity is what makes you move forward and become a leader.
Good point. So, Shruti, like I can clearly see as you are speaking, like where I was when I was getting started at this, and no, I had my own barriers. Like I would say, something that really would stop me was my own confidence that I can do this, or no, really reclaiming my potential as a leader. Because I had my own past. Though I was working, I was not a stay-at-home mom, but like with my previous business failure and the third child, and corona and corona, we were like pushed into that situation. But I never wanted to stay there. Like no, I really didn't no, really wanted to reclaim. My barrier was my confidence, because I was coming from a failure, and the responsibility was triple, because now three children, and you're 40. So what are the common barriers women face when they have to claim their leadership potential? What would you say?
So I think the most common barrier is your self doubt. Always that question coming in, am I enough? Can I do it? That's the most important barrier. The second barrier, I think, is like I mentioned, nurturing. So basically, conditioning of your mindset. You have to agree to whatever is being asked to, and you can't set your boundaries. You can't be assertive. That's not right. That's not something women are supposed to do. And I think the third barrier would be guilt. You know, can I say no? Is it okay to say no? Is it fine that I can decide for myself? I don't need permission. I know don't need validation. All those kinds of barriers makes a person in that state ki hum aage बढ़ ही नहीं सकते. I can't move forward. I have to block myself. I have come across women who do things in a low profile because their husbands should not feel bad.
Hmm.
And this is a very common thing. I can't earn more than my husband. Why not? Your husband should be very approving of it. Very more than approving is not the correct word, probably, but your husband should be helping you to move forward and grow to that extent. But here, women play the role that, oh, we can't earn more than my husband or my brother or my father. I cannot be a big achiever in life because they have to have their names first. So I think these three barriers are very, very common and very important to look into.
That's interesting. I have been hearing this even as I keep listening to a lot of podcasts, and being a podcast host, this is my practice. I have been hearing with this from very successful women, telling these, there is a barrier they put on themselves, that their male counterpart should not feel uncomfortable out about it. So it was not in my domain, because my mom has always been a very successful, and she's a retired principal, so you can see very dominating personality at home and at work. She
Yeah.
had that authority and position. So I never came from that condition. Like no, I've seen her always on top. And but I have no over these years, I have really seen that no matter how much educated you are, high authority you have, your male counterpart has a discomfort around your positioning. So this is there, it's there. So I agree with this. And so when it comes to setting healthy boundaries, what are your suggestions
Mhm.
around it, like when they are feeling guilty, various factors as we discussed?
So I think setting boundaries are like, we don't think of them as boundaries. We think of them as walls. इसके आगे हम जा ही नहीं सकते हैं, because we don't have the clarity. And guilt comes because we feel कि I can't be selfish. That's the basic thing that a woman feels, that if I say no or if I set a boundary, I'm being selfish. And that's how people tell them also. Even friends and family. Even if you're going and talking to a woman, another woman, and saying, "Oh, this is what I want to do." Oh, you can't be selfish.
Mm.
I mean, you have to set your boundaries. You need to have a clarity. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is the non negotiable in my relationship. And this is the okay negotiable stuff in my relationship. So, with relationships, with life, with work, setting boundaries makes it simpler because you know what you like and dislike. I've heard so many stories of women where, if they are asked what they even like to eat, very simple things they don't know. Oh, husband likes this, child likes this, so whatever they will eat. But if you tell them, okay, let's go to a restaurant of your choice, they'll be like, whatever you guys decide. These are very common problems that women have and face, which they don't even realize. And that comes from the conditioning because they've never understood what they really want clearly.
Yeah, I
So
think, yeah,
that
it comes from the conditioning. I remember, like, I can clearly relate to it. Though this was not a question when it comes to my household, especially my parents' place. But when I went to my in-laws' place, I remember each person is having a choice, especially my husband, my brother-in-law and my father-in-law. Like, they have their own preferences around food, and by the time I get the whole meal ready onto the table, there are so many things to be cooked to satisfy everybody's preferences. I have a sister-in-law, so I asked her once, like, you don't have any, because anyways I'm cooking for everyone. So she said, no, I will go with anything. So that, no, you reminded me of this, like it is okay for them to not have a choice, and let everybody else have, so we keep ourselves,
absolutely.
this is relatable, very much relatable, like we, and it is, like, I would say, absolutely missed or ignored, like we don't even see that we don't have a choice here.
Yeah, and that's why I took this basic need example of food, because food is something so basic. We can't go up to the level of health also, because that also अच्छा सबके लिए time है, you don't have time for
Mm.
yourself. But food is so basic. You're cooking for everybody, but you can't cook for yourself because everything has to be done. So when you're saying this, when I was very young, I had an experience, where I actually was living a housewife's life at the age of probably 18 for some reason, which is not really necessary. But I realized at that point of time, even that little leftover, you can't throw. And I used to see my mommy doing it. And that's when I realized that when you can't throw that little leftover, you just have to eat it because you're a housewife. That's
Hmm.
crazy. But that's what happens when you're living in a family, and it's never that the husband or the child will eat the leftover. It's just one extra bite, but nobody has it. So I think we women are not even acknowledging ourselves for the basic
Hmm.
needs, and we're talking of just I want to do something in life. I think that is where the clarity has to be there, what you really want.
Yeah, I think we have, we have come to a very, mind, I would say, everyday detail, detailing of,
Oh yeah.
how we can choose ourselves. A very simple exercise
Yes.
here. So, if someone wants to really, do some daily activities or actions, I would say, rituals, or, as you would suggest, for really aligning yourself to your personal values. So, as you say, as we have been discussing about the awareness, so when we are aware of our, what matters to us, so what exercises or actions you would suggest that we align ourselves every day?
So my question to all the audience, and especially women here, would be, do you even know what values you are holding in your life?
Very.
Once you are very aware of the values that you hold in life, that's the time you can actually start practicing the values on a daily basis. Start from
Hmm.
small. Start from really small. So I just released my first book as an author in July, and it's called Life 24 by 7. And the 24 things that I've spoken about are life reflections from my life, just smaller stories and some understanding of those words and emotions and meaning. And the seventh chapters that I have written is all about values, the values that I hold and why it is important to me. So only when you're aware what values you hold in life can you start practicing them, and practice them with the smallest thing. Say, if I want to wake up and your value is freedom, you decide what time you want to wake up, not because of your duties and responsibilities. Yes, that's there, but some days can be a day where you really want to take that leave and holiday, and that value, if you're practicing in a smallest way, very simple, something like waking up half an hour late or an hour late, that also we can't do. I don't think any homemaker or any woman generally has a holiday for themselves. If they are working 6 days a week, if they are going to office, seventh day is, oh, home cleaning has to happen, so I have to wake up early. So understand your values and then find space and time on how you can inculcate it on a daily basis.
I can clearly, relate to the reels I've been watching today. Being an Independence Day की हमको आज के दिन भी छुट्टी नहीं मिलती, खाना तो बनाना है, right? So,
So
it's
true.
there. So, but the end, it can be prioritized. It's not that it's not possible. And busiest household, too many commitments, kids, in-laws, I get to have my time. I do that, and I delegate things. I don't make people feel, like they are like they're partners, like whether it's my mother-in-law, whether it's my husband. I have made sure that we are partners together, and I get to have my own time. Like I'm sitting here, it's dinner time. But yeah, things
Absolutely.
are taken care because I have my regular weekly podcast timing, so it is achievable. It's not like it's
Yes.
it's not possible.
I absolutely agree. It's achievable, and that's where setting boundaries happen. And that's what you have done. You have your clarity, you have set your boundaries, you're moving on your purposeful path, and you're aligning it to your daily life. And that's what I also help women to do when they are working with
Yeah,
me.
great. So, quickly tell us about your services, as we have, talked enough. And one thing that we haven't touched is the values, because values itself is a very big conversation, and we have our own, I would say, our own way of identifying things, and really, making it sure, like this is what I stand for, and I live for, and I practice this. So it's a complete different topic. So we are just brushing it over, but it's a foundation. What else you know when it comes to your coaching programs? Can you share a little bit, like how it is structured?
So, So my very basic program that I do is helping you find the clarity and purpose in life. So basically purpose clarity coach, to understand what your values are, what your limiting beliefs are, and where you stand, understanding your psychological and emotional needs, how you're managing your time. All of that clubbed together help you to start off your journey. It's a transformation journey. It never is like, I will guide you and you can do it. Yes, I will guide you. You have to do it to achieve the results. So that's a very basic program, which is a 2-month program that I do. It's called the Purpose Playbook. And from there are other versions and higher things that you can achieve. How you can Purpose Playbook, how you can actually move forward to making it a part of your life in a holistic way. So all the different areas, how you can use these values, use your clarity alignment to move forward and become that self-sufficient person who does not always is looking, or rather looking for emotional validation. That's very important, because women, I think, are all the time, or most of the time, looking for that emotional validation. The person has to say this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. I am not taking the responsibility of my choices, and that's what I follow in my life. I This is one mantra that I always talk about and say, and believe in is that my life is my choice and my choice is my responsibility.
Very
So
wonderful.
everything that I'm doing is my responsibility. And this came in my 18 years of learning and journey, where I started realizing that every time I cannot think of blaming someone, because I'm not a person who likes to
Mm.
blame. I'm not a person who has any guilt or regret in life. So why is that not happening? Because I'm taking the choice of responsibility of my life. And that's what gives me the power and
Mm.
strength to move forward without any grudges in my life.
Wonderful. I think, even I would say I have come a long way to really let go of those validations, that don't define me. And what defines is my own expectation of myself, and really living up to that. And I think I keep telling my children, they are teens now, because they have their peer groups, and they are also beginning to get um, what to say, influenced by what people have to tell them. So often, to have that thing grounded, like it's about you, and what you have to say to yourself is the most powerful thing, and just live up to that. And great. So Shruti, where people can find you, like if someone wants to connect with you, where they can find you?
So they can find me on my Instagram handle Shruti Mundhra 01. They can go and search me on my website shrutimundhra.com, and Facebook as well, Shruti
Yeah.
Mundhra.
And
So
you're there
yeah,
on LinkedIn as well. And if
yeah.
you want to learn more about how Shruti can help you, do connect with her. So before we close this, a few more questions, like what would be the one mindset shift that instantly changes how a woman leads her life?
Like I said, the moment you start realizing that you have a
Hmm.
choice is the biggest mindset shift. The moment you start accepting that I can choose what kind of life I want, not defined by the society only, but defined by yourself as well. I'm not saying go against the society. I never say go against your rules and responsibilities. I never say leave everything and just do be yourself, because I think there's a very thin line difference between self love and
Hmm.
selfishness. And today's day and age, people confuse it, mix it, and a lot of times become selfish in the name of self love.
It is also there.
So that is a very important thing to understand what is
Hmm.
self love. And once you have made that choice, you can easily start changing narratives to your story, start moving forward in life, and very importantly, understand that you are a work in progress in all your
Yes.
life.
And people really collapse self-care with self-love also. But it's
Yeah.
again a very deep conversation to
Last
take,
topic.
like we did
I
for
know.
values, because as we say self-love, we have a range of experiences that made us really see how I can really love myself. So it's a completely different conversation, but Shruti is there to help you. Before we close, the final question is, if someone is on a career break, you know, like we have been speaking women at home, but what if someone is at a break and they want to get back to workforce? How do you think you and your program could support them?
Definitely. So, the first thing, even before finding out how my program or how I can help them, is for them to understand, are they honoring their break or are they apologizing for it? Because most of the time, we are talking of a career break and sabbatical, but trust me, if I have seen so many women who have taken a 1 day break also now, a few hours break also, they feel like, oh my god, it's such a big crime.
Hmm.
you have to start understanding that it is more accepting, that it's okay, I have taken a break because my body needs it, my mind needs it. I need to reflect upon things. I have to learn during that time, I have to relax during that time. So when someone is out of a wanting to be out of a career break for that matter, they have to have that resilience. They have to understand what new skills can I learn to move forward. How can I become more confident? Because yes, if you're on a break, sometimes you tend to lose that confidence. So how can I become more confident and not think of myself as that I have to start with a perfection? That's a major challenge. When you come from a break, you want to start with perfection, because you can't accept yourself only that I have taken a break and I have lost some time in that time. So instead of feeling of that lost time, feeling of honoring that time, what you have learned is more important. So once you are out of this career break, yes, having that clarity of
Mm.
purpose makes it simpler and easier to move forward with an alignment in life. And when I go through with this purpose clarity program, it's all about aligning your ikigai in a format which is very, very relatable and practical.
Mm.
The famous book Ikigai has taught everybody Ikigai is very important, but nobody knows how to take it forward. Most of the time we read it, we get confused, and then we just shut the book and
Yes.
we leave it. But how to take it forward is where I help them. That okay, these are the formal paths. For some it could be I want to earn out of it. For some it could be I just want to invest my time or my emotions, or just have some kind of contribution. I want to give back to the society. So getting that clarity is where I take them.
Beautiful. Because often I've seen high achievers, no, especially women, working women on a break. No, we have this habit of bullying ourselves with our goals. No, so
Yeah.
I've learned it the hard way. So I keep telling, like, no, even for business, don't set goals that tend to bully yourself. No, you don't have to be, top of the mountain all the time. Uh, there can be ease and grace. Uh, uh, we can,
Absolutely.
we can manifest, we can attract things, we can co-create, rather than just chasing, hustling, working hard, draining ourselves.
So
Great,
true.
Shruti. Like, we can go on because we both are in a same similar journey. We have so many common lessons to share, and we keep talking about
Yes.
this, and we can go on as coaches, no. uh,
Yes, definitely. I would agree to that, Ranjani. We can go on because we've experienced it. Like if someone tells me, I always say that I've already experienced that journey. So I have so many things that can be unfolded while I'm talking. And definitely that's not a thing that we can do when we are on a podcast, which I always feel that, there's a time frame that is always
yeah.
there in mind.
So thank you so much for being here and sharing your story and your purpose of why you chose to be a
Absolutely.
coach and helping women across different stages of their life. They can always get started. You have a choice. You can get started anytime and reclaim your life, and reclaim and
Absolutely.
live with clarity, and be happy. uh, you know so
Yes.
looking forward to more conversations, and wishing you a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed as I enjoyed learning from you.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Ranjani. It's so nice to connect with like-minded people and have people who you can talk to, and people someone who's ready to listen also is very important. So thank you for giving this space, and I'm so grateful to the audience who will be listening to this, people who have been live. Yes, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. People are watching till the end. So drop your comments, your questions. She will be answering them later. But for now, take care. Bye.